Hello together again to our webinar to the Bauhaus session about the topic air conditioned service. And today we are to talk about the accessories necessary for servicing AC systems on vehicles. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Daniel Kronmüller. I'm export area manager by the WOW.
My name is Würth. I'm a product trainer with WOW. Yeah. Daniel, what beautiful item do you have in front of you here?
Here we have our little handheld analyzer for the R1234yf in this case. It's a very easily mobile item. It's connected with clamps directly to the car battery, and it's right now in the standby modus with all the LEDs blinking to show that they're in working order. Let's start with the warm-up phase by pressing the next button. It will take a moment to go through this process. Uwe,
we can use the time in between.
What can you tell me about the
inspector cylinder? Yeah, the inspector cylinder is the best way to optically determine whether everything's all right with the refrigerant. First of all, whether refrigerant is already in, because we have a gauge on top of this cylinder telling us about the system pressure. And to retrieve liquid, we need to connect to the high pressure circuit first. And on the high pressure, in this mode, we have the static pressure of the refrigerant, which is approximately 5 bar. And then we let the vehicle run. We put the AC system on full performance, and then we get a little amount of refrigerant in this cylinder. So what's the benefit here? If the liquid is looking clear like water, like in this case here, we are just talking about a regular maintenance job with no specialties. However, if we have changes in color, which means the oil, because this is a refrigerant oil mixture, the oil has been overheated by the compressor. This means there is already a damage ahead, a damage to be expected, and then we are talking about a repair. Or if there are already particles inside or shavings or anything like this, then we already have a damage. Even though we have maybe no noise from the running compressor, this could be the case, and I see it here immediately. And this information together with the purity information of our little analyzer. Oh, I see in the meantime, the next step is ahead.
So it's now next step. So we press on next.
First, you need.
First, I have to flush the chamber. You're right. Flush the chamber with air so that the calibration can start. This takes a few pumps from this manual pump. We say it's about around 10 times, more or less. And we should be right there now. And we've done it, we press on next. So to start the calibration mode, we have to keep an eye on it. So as soon the light is jumping into the analyzing mode, I will have to turn open the valve here. Meanwhile, we should not forget to mention our viewers that we have a chat function running in the background, and you can ask any question. Our team here behind the scenes will answer the questions if they can, or hand us the questions in here, and we will be asking live that. We see now it's jumping to the analyzing. So I turn the valve. That's the next.
Yeah. So now ready, the measuring chamber is being flooded with the refrigerant and analyzed.
Yeah, it's of course in gas form because.
Yeah, we only want to know the purity, and the degree of purity is always being measured in gas.
course, we don't have here any filter system for preventing of if there's for any chance any liquid in it. If it gets in there, it would damage the item. That's why you have to keep an eye on it to make sure that no liquids, for whatever reason, would go through it.
Anyway,
it won't happen.
no,
really.
it won't happen because we connect to the low
now the
pressure
lights
side.
have gone off, and we
Okay.
get already here the answer.
So the purity is above 95%. This means the refrigerant composition is exactly genuine and no problem to be expected. So on the other hand, we have pressure here. The static pressure is also okay. The purity of the optical purity, which is also important, is also granted. We have nothing inside, no shavings, no particles, no color, changed color. This means we can sell to the customer a regular maintenance job. If you want to have more comfort at analyzing or let's say identifying the refrigerant, we have another device here, which is just a little higher in price. The benefit is that we have an electrical pump doing the calibration job for us in the background, and we have a pre-filled device which is protecting the analyzer a little better than this little handheld device does. Yeah, but this is more or less all. In an ideal case, you do this, what we showed you now, together with a customer, because this is a very deciding and significant phase, because now the decision is between a regular maintenance or a repair job. If, for instance, the gauge would show no refrigerant, no pressure, then it could be a repair, and you can prepare the customer that he maybe has to invest some money to get back the function of his AC system. Or if we find anything inside optically, then this could also be a hint for a beginning damage, which we can still prevent. For instance, if we have water inside, it looks very milky. And in that case, we need at least to change the filter dryer of the car in order to prevent damage, because water inside the system is creating acid, and acid is very aggressive to all the metal surfaces of the tubings of the compressor, and doing very quickly a damage, especially when the system is not in use. If the water is inside and the system is not in use, the damage is even quicker than the vehicle being used all the time. Yeah, if we failed with this little identifier, what's happening next?
Yeah, we will have to get this refrigerant somehow out of the system.
Exactly, and we are not intending to just let's say expose it to the environment, because this is in the meantime a criminal act. So we have to use this disposal kit here to get all the liquid and gaseous refrigerant into this tank here. And this is the professional way how to handle this kind of subject. And as the customer is in an ideal case already with us, we can tell him that there is some more cost to be expected. And in a regular case, the manufacturers of these chemical gases offer some kind of service of disposal. And this service is consisting of an analysis and an analysis certificate and the professional and environmental friendly disposal, because the manufacturer can handle any mixture and separate it again and rework it to be in a saleable condition again. Yeah.
Do we have something on our website regarding the disposable kit?
Yeah, we have on this disposable kit on the website, and we have we can show you the German example where we have the offer of a German manufacturer of chemical gases. Can we get the picture, please? Yeah, this is on our website. This is the disposal kit, and we have a sheet where you can Yeah, this exactly. And this is the process description. As said, this is an analysis bottle where I can put in a questionable refrigerant I don't know the composition of, because this is not the same comfort we have in the Y50A, because the Y50A would already give us the composition in percentage. And here in that case, the manufacturer is doing that for us. And if he is already in possession of this questionable gas, he's also doing the disposal in terms of a flat rate. In our case in Germany, this is €100, a flat rate, where you can professionally get rid of this contaminated refrigerant, and you get a receipt of having done so, in order not to be held responsible if somebody is reporting you that you did something wrong with this refrigerant. Because in the meantime, the fine is very high if you do do it the classic way, just open the valve and go away. This is anyway, this is not permitted anymore. Yeah,
of course the customer would pay for the cost at the end for disposing. How long does it take to empty a car, because it's a manual pump?
Yes.
And why is it a manual pump, and how long will it take?
Yeah, very good, a very good question. So it takes, don't underestimate this pump. This is a very strong pump with a quite high volume. For 570 grams, we tested it. It took us exactly 5 minutes to empty a vehicle totally into this bottle. And the remainder in this vehicle only has been 5 grams, because we, of course, went with the service unit to it and have looked what is the residue, the remainder inside the system. Yeah, why is it a manual pump? We don't know what's inside. It could be some flammable gas, so we can't deploy a compressor, an electrically driven compressor, because it could be a flammable mixture. It could even be an explosive mixture we don't know of. But here we don't have this danger, because this is just a mechanical pump, and we just with the displacement of this pump, we just transport this refrigerant into this tank, and then we close the valve, and that's it. And then we can hand this bottle over to the professional service partner for analysis and disposal. So this is more or less a very safe procedure, and it's not such an effort like others do with the cooling package, putting down the pressure and heating it up and all these stuff together. Yeah, okay. What we do in case everything was fine, but we had a problem with the compressor. We, of course, are requested by some manufacturers to go for flushing. So this is the flushing kit. And the flushing kit has a special purpose. It is first having a 5-liter container, which we put in between the service unit and the car. Could we see the diagram, please? And here is how it's connected. And you see the AC system is modified at 2 points. First of all, the entry to the system is the connecting terminal for the compressor. Then, of course, we need to remove the filter dryer, and we need to remove or modify the expansion valve, because these 3 parts mentioned are reducing the flow or are locking up the system.
Why
and so
is the flow so important?
Yeah, the flow is very important, because we want to get rid of all the oil and the liquids inside. And as oil cannot evaporate, we need to use liquid refrigerant to capture this oil and transport it outside the vehicle. And this means we need to be able to at least reach a flow speed which is comparable to the usual operation of the system. So, and we do it by vacuumizing the whole system. We vacuum the AC, we vacuum this 5-liter container, and then we open a valve inside the service unit, and then we let it flow freely through the system, and all the rest, the remainder, all the liquids will be collected in this 5-liter container. And at the end of the process, when the pressure is equalized, then we start to recover. This means we go in this tap here, and we recover the entire volume of this tank here and the system back into the machine. And in order to prevent damage to the machine, we have a fine filter on top here, which is serving us in 2 ways. First, it's protecting the AC service unit. And second, it gives us an opportunity to visually check the refrigerant for any remainder. Normally, if the refrigerant appears in black because it is an overheated oil, then it should not be appearing in black anymore after we have finished the flushing. So, for instance, Volkswagen is demanding at least 3 cycles with 134a for every part we placed in the system. Not only the compressor, also the condenser, also the filter dryer or the evaporator, whatever you change, they ask for 3 times 3 cycles to really get rid of all the old oil. Means we need to also drain the oil from the compressor and put a new oil in if the compressor is still in good condition. If not, the new compressor is coming with a complete oil filling. So if we do not flush the system, this means we have 50 to 100 cc of oil still in the system, and then it comes with a new compressor, another 100 cc in the system. And at one fine day, if we do this repeatedly, the liquid in this system is only consisting of oil. Oil can't evaporate. Oil will reduce the cooling performance. Yeah, and at the end, yeah, then you only you are forced to flush the system or either to replace the entire tubing and all the components inside. And so this is the more economical way to treat systems when under repair. Yeah, and not to forget, if we have done all these cycles, then we should not forget to drain this internal container by this valve on the bottom, because of course, as we have this liquid receiver here, we must bear in mind that oil can't evaporate. It will be captured inside this container, and we need to drain it manually. Otherwise, we reduce the volume of the flushing kit, which is of course not very attractive to the one who's using it the next time. Yeah.
We should point out that the filter needs to be replaced every 5 flushing cycles.
That's true.
So to have the required performance of the filter, otherwise you will get residue through and back into the system.
Yeah, the first sign, if it is worn out or is it plugged up, you will see that the recovery phase takes an excessive long time period. Could be take up to 1 hour, which is of course way more than normal. And this filter is comparably cheap.
Yeah. And that time excess should be prevented because time again is money, which you could spend rather doing something else than making money.
We have done everything. What's next? We need to verify whether we have done a good job. And to verify that means I need to do a pressure loss test. And this pressure loss test we do by deploying some nitrogen. And if you are owning a COOLIUS 50 series device, then this is a built-in feature. You can do this testing process over the menu and over the software. So you simply open the bottle, adjust the pressure you want to test with. For instance, 2 bars if you want to test low pressure, 12 bars if you want to test high pressure. And at the very end, you get the testing result. And now you are entitled to fill the system. If you forget to do this pressure test and something is wrong afterwards, then you can't prove you did a proper job. And Moreover, this you could be held liable for any refrigerant which went into the environment, which is, as said, this is an act of crime in most of the countries of the European community.
We received some questions from the
perfect.
audience. Do we have an analyzer with a printer?
Yes, very good point. Almost forgot.
We do actually have, right, one over there.
So this is the Y50A. Of course, this is much more comfort because the analyzing phase is also, you can call in this job separately. Even if you have a bottle with unknown content, you just let it run. All these things we showed you here, we did manually. This system does automatically. So the heating up to 40 degrees, the calibration, and the analysis is being done automatically. And then we receive a result in %. So the percentage is then, it should be, of course, 95 to 100 to pass. And if it's not passing, then we can at least see what the composition has been. It could be, of course, a mixture between 1234yf and 134a. It could also be that we have standard hydrocarbons like the R290 propane, R600a butane gas, or it could be something unknown, which is not identifiable. Yeah, and this is a very good proof you also can present to the customer. And if this is having something else than the expected refrigerant, of course, then you can also explain to the customer that you need to charge extra for it.
Another question from the audience is if we have an identifier for the R134a available. We do have another of these handheld devices in blue color, which we don't have right now with us here at the show. It's it would be all in blue for the R134a. Would be exactly the same setup.
Exactly. That's all.
We have more questions. Can I use flushing kit with all AC machines?
Generally, yes. Generally, yes, because we deliver with this a kit of adapters. We even deliver some one-way or check valves to make sure that the flow is in the desired direction. We can, as we adapt with the machines, we only differentiate between the 1234yf and the 134a. And all the other adapters are coming within this kit. So the only difference is just the kind of refrigerant we are working with, or we are working on. So that's true. I hope this did we address this question properly?
We did that one, and we with the last one you also answered the last question here of all connectors included in the flushing kit, which they are, right?
Yeah. Of course, this is the connection to the kit. It's not the connection you have to use for the compressor to the system, or the expansion valve to the system, or the filter dryer to the system. This is a different topic. This is just the connection between the flushing kit, the device, and the vehicle. But yes, this we can address completely with this here. Okay. Is there anything else?
Are there more questions from the audience? If there are any more questions, feel free to ask us over the chat. It will be open even after we finish with the show here, and we will answer the questions to you right away.
Yeah. The only thing remaining is thank you very much attending here, and goodbye until the next time.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.